Gang, I'm Mr. Landis here with our introduction to our causes of the Civil War, which we'll be doing starting in week 3. We'll be doing that in a couple parts with a couple different video lessons in each part. I want to start with the introduction. This is my favorite topic, really, I think, of all that I teach. Not the war itself, but the causes, because I see the causes as the great marching toward America, finally at long last, uncovering and fixing the great evil that we know has been there all along. We're finally going to fix it, and that is the point of the causes unit. Here's our big question for the next really 3 weeks. What laws and events caused the American Civil War? Why did America fight itself? Now, you're going to hear a lot of, I've got a whole other article and activity we're going to do on, did slavery cause the war? The answer is yes. But the laws and events that occurred along the way, that's a simple answer. It's true, but it's simple. The better answer is, what laws and events caused it? Now, here's what we see. Regional tension, north and south, over the spread of slavery west, as we're going to see starting in lesson 1A, led to a series of laws, and then laws, people react to law, so there's then events, and then more laws, and then more events, and causes and reactions that eventually lead the South to secede. That's the formal word for leaving a political union. They're going to secede. South Carolina is going to secede and convince other states to secede, leave America, over the belief that their rights, states' rights to own slaves, were being infringed upon. Okay, they're going to quote the Declaration as a justification for leaving. Remember, the Declaration says when a government, does not support the rights of the people have the right to alter or abolish that government. The South will use that and say, because we fear, because the North has infringed upon our slaveholding rights in these various areas, not followed laws, we believe we have the right to leave. Lincoln will say you can't do that. We'll get there later. So here's what we see. Why did America go to war? America goes to war with itself because of slavery. Simple answer. Better answer. Laws and events lead us to confront the issue of slavery from both a moralistic but also a lawful way. So morals are a part of this, right? Beliefs in right and wrong. I want to show you this amazing quote by Lincoln. Beautiful quote. Lincoln is going to be the focus of both the end of this unit and also the war itself. Lincoln is growing up during this time. He's rising to both, not honestly fame. That's toward the end of the unit, but he's rising towards notoriety. And it's an amazing quote in a private letter. If slavery is not wrong, then nothing is wrong. Oh, what a beautiful quote! Oh, there's so much wisdom there. He's saying this quote is what most Americans are finally marching towards. They're marching toward that deep, dark place in their heart where they have to confront this truth. That if this isn't wrong, then nothing is wrong. If owning another human being isn't wrong, then what is wrong, right? In other words, we believe deep down inside that there is a right and a wrong. And if this isn't it, then nothing is. This is what America has to confront. Now, as this happens, the South has to more and more justify, and by South I mean the planter class, the wealthy elites, have to justify slavery, and they will do so in all sorts of crazy ways. Biblically, racially, irrationally, we'll see that. And as America spreads, we have to confront this issue. The Southerners have to protect it because they have to protect the economy spread west. Northerners are beginning to see it's more and more morally wrong. What do we do? Here's the metaphor I want to use for you. I want to use this metaphor that this process that America splitting apart is not fast, it's slow, but it happens in a series of poundings of that wedge, that slavery wedge, into the nation. You know that I love metaphors. Here's my favorite metaphor I'm going to use. This is what's called a wedge, right? I know a lot about wedges. I grew up in the woods, splitting logs for firewood for our family. This is what we did for heating in the winter. Every winter, my dad we would take them out, 5 to 10 trees. We would cut the logs up, chainsaws, and then it was my job to split it. My dad would give me this. This is called a wedge. He would give me a wedge and a sledgehammer, not an axe. An axe will get stuck in a log, especially if it's green, if it's fresh. You need a wedge. A wedge, look what it does. You pound the wedge in, then you take a sledgehammer, and you pound the wedge into the piece of wood. And what does it do? It splits it. Now, it doesn't split it all at once. You first have to crack it with a sledgehammer, right? It's called a maul. A maul looks like an axe, but it has like a big, heavy, really blunt point, and that creates cracks. And then you put the wedge in, and then you take the maul, flip it over to the other side, and you pound this wedge in. What does this do? Look at it. It cracks it. Okay? So this unit, all the events leading up to the war, every law and every event that works, I want you to think about those laws as a pounding. Boom, 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 into this log. This log is America. Okay. Some of these events are going to be small with a hand mallet, right? Like this guy, okay? Some of them are going to be big ones, catastrophic, monumental ones, like a big sledgehammer pounding. But all of them are going to be events that are going to lead America to split. Now, the beauty is, unlike a log, America will be able to heal itself, but it will take a lot of time. We'll get there later. So, in this intro video, you're going to encounter in this part one, two big events that caused America to march toward and to cause that the splitting, that two big poundings, right, in that mallet, in that wedge. And those events are a law called the Missouri Compromise and a law called the Compromise of 1850 that tried to keep America together as we spread rest over the issue of slavery.